It's the morning of May 19th, 2013. It is just after 9 a.m. Getting up and going out to look to see what happened from the watering last night. So we're walking down the stairs from Building A. We're headed out to, well, we're going to go look at the culprit. We're going to look down right here and we can see that, you notice the ground, that it has watered here. These are the sprinklers that were removed and then put back in with no care of where they spray, and I showed that last night. It's the same way around in all these grass areas that they were going to put in. Let's take a look here first. This is the area of the slime. The slime. There's a little dust down here. Let's see if we can get a better view of it. There's a little dust down here, and it's a little bit wet, but there is this is dirt. That's just a little dirt in the street and a little bit wet. And again, this is where the landscapers blow all the debris to. So when they blow the debris into this area, it leaves dirt, and they don't sweep it up. So when the dirt gets wet, it makes mud. So what I did earlier this week is I just swept the dirt a little. You know, it looked a lot like this. That was what was there before, and that was what was getting wet. So that's all that's there right now at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's probably going to be gone in the next hour or so. So I would really like to know where this slime, the mythical slime, is. Let's take a look around at some other places. Let's look at the new irrigation that's been put in over here that's supposed to water these beautiful trees, which again, their canopy comes over this piece of grass that, you know, John Passy, the property manager, says is only as big as a table. We proved that it's a lot bigger than a table. So here's what we got. We got these little things sticking up right there. We got those sticking up. Not exactly sure what they're supposed to water. But then you'll notice up here, I don't know why it's all wet here. There was a bubbler here, and it's been covered up. It looks like what they did is they dug all those black wires. There's one right there. Right there. And they're going there. Oh, you can see it right there. It is. Right there. That's how they're watering. Each of these individual plants have a little watering system to them. And, you know, there's a tube right there sticking up. There's another tube right there. But we're under the tree. We're under the tree and its canopy. It probably will get some water from this, but will it be enough to keep it alive when its canopy comes over here, which got watered last night, and you can see all muddy, overwatering. But there are no puddles. Let's look for some puddles. There are no puddles out here. So why does this piece of grass have to be removed when there are no puddles? It's not destroying that piece of parking lot right there. So this is not an issue dealing with slime. It's an issue of board members wanting to remove grass that doesn't need to be removed. Let's continue to walk around and get a good look this morning at what we got. We didn't come all the way down here. But again, we get under the last of the remaining trees. So we have 3 trees right here in front of Building A. If we turn this way, again, there would have been one right about here, one as you got to the corner. There's been one replaced, and then there should be one more past that one, but they're not replaced. They're not doing anything about those. So we look at the irrigation. Now we got this, I don't know, this fiber stuff down here that's been planted, which they just trenched through to put this irrigation in. And again, look closely. You can see the tubes going to individual plants. It's only wet around the plants. Nothing in this area will get water unless it's got a tube to it. Those tubes are not enough to water a full-grown tree. And we even consulted our own arborist, the man with a degree in forestry and 25 years experience, and he agrees with it. Again, we can see the trenches cut right through. They didn't even bother to lift this up. They just cut through it, and it's blowing all over the complex now. You know, right here's another example. I know it's pretty bright. But again, right here, that's what we got. We got just garbage laying everywhere. Not maintained, not taken care of. this, you know, they were scooping up the rock. The other thing is, notice these tracks here. They're using a machine in here, leaving tracks all over the sidewalks when it should be wheelbarrows and shovels. Wheelbarrows and shovels. Now this tree, oh, it was planted a few years back at the request of Arlene after they cut down all of the trees over here to help, you know, control the temperature. And it's getting watered right at the base, which right now is within its canopy and probably okay. But as this tree grows, those roots that are down in here are going to extend, and they're going to go out this direction. So how is it going to continue to get water? That's going to prevent it just from growing, let alone surviving. And we can look here at the leaves. Looks like we got some infestation problems. Something's eating everything on this. Oh, it's all over this tree. So they're maintaining these trees, this arborist, but we got a bunch of leaves being eaten of a tree that we desperately need, and I know Arlene wants to keep alive. Now the other thing is, the tree's not even straight up and down. It's already growing towards the building because it hasn't been maintained properly. It's tilting over towards the north. You know, just continuing around, we see the same things. You know, irrigation to specific plants. Now we've asked to have all these plants removed and a hedge put in here like we used to have. But I don't see how they're going to do it. I don't see how they're going to do it, and I don't believe they will do it. But only time will tell. That's a beautiful tree we got over here. They had to put a new one over there because the other one was diseased, and that's great that they replaced that as soon as they cut it down. So where's the tree that was supposed to be here? We got one here. Where's the tree that's here and the one that was in the middle? Those haven't been replaced. It's been 8 or 9 years. So we're going to walk over here again, take a little look around, because the criteria that they gave us for removal is damage to the asphalt, liability. Well, I'm not seeing the liability here on this grass. I'm not seeing damage to the asphalt. If damage to the asphalt and liability is an issue, here again, let's stop for a second. You can see right here, the machine that they brought in here to take all this rock out, and then they spread rock all over, has caused all this problem. This is where it was turning, coming up over the curb. You can see the black marks in here. Look at this. This is our landscaping company trying to leave no impact on the environment, but they're just tearing it up. And then even more atrocious here, taking that little bulldozer over the edge of the tree and cutting it with the blade. What else do we got here? They did the same thing on this tree. It's been nicked. Not near as bad. Didn't break it through the bark, but still using machines where it needs to be handwork. Believe they're removing that grass out there. Say goodbye to our entry trees. Thinking about having tombstones made for them. Okay, we're talking about liability and spraying the asphalt. This out here, you can see this has been directly in the sunlight for some time now. You know, it's 9:15, 9:20 or so in the morning. And look at the water that came off of this. Look at all of this. All of this, look at the water out here. You can see the water on the edges here. That's not destroying anything. So maybe we need to get rid of this garden up here and these sprinkler heads like this that just pop off. You know, we got these little homemade lights up here. We got our iguana, our pet iguana. I don't know, maybe we ought to give him a name. You know, it's a nice area, but look, it's all dead. It's all dead, so when are they going to fix this? It dried up in the last couple days. Plants aren't there to sustain, but it's a private garden. We got a dry spot there. Let's go back over here where, and again, you can see the water around here. Look at the water stains here. All in this area, and it's all because they don't maintain the sprinklers. Most of it's on that island is pressure. It's too much pressure. Now, last night, if you remember, this was soaking wet. Water running down here all over. You can see the stain right here where it comes down. Cat just went through it. But the issue, as we pointed out last night, it's not an issue of it running off the grass. It's an issue of the sprinklers spraying off the grass. So it's not the grass that's the issue, it's the sprinklers. And the sprinklers are not being maintained by the HOA or the landscaping company, which we pay. And they're supposed to do this, but they're not doing it properly. We're not getting what we're paying for, and that's causing other problems, but problems that don't exist, you know, like there is no slime. Somebody show me where the slime is. You know, all this will take to clean this up. If I bring my hose out here, spray this off and get that dirt really out of there, this will be clean. It's going to look like the rest of the asphalt. It's going to look like the rest of the asphalt right here. If I came and cleaned this off, there is no slime here. No slime. It's just dirt, most of it which comes out of this middle bed over the years. Now they made it much better when they removed the sprinkler heads, but then they still got one right here, a pop-up sprayer. I hope that rock needs water to grow. You know, again, walking around where this sidewalk was soaking wet last night. That's 9, a little after 9 in the morning. We can see right here, the one area that I pointed out last night in the dark, it's still damp. So that stayed wet all night. Here's a puddle over here. This is the area where we pointed out some sprinklers weren't level and weren't right. Again, right there. Look at the grass line. It's almost a straight line. It's pretty easy to put irrigation along something like this. Even with that curve there, it's not that hard because they're not sharp and they're not odd angles. It's a gradual curve that we can stop this from getting wet. Last night, this entire area was soaking wet. And it's not because the grass, it's because the sprinklers are ill-maintained. You know, that tree was planted this year, thankfully, to replace a tree that used to be right out. Let me zoom back out. A tree that used to be right there. There used to be another tree right there. So they put one tree after about 9 years. It's got to be about maybe 9 to 10 years after cutting them down. We got a tree. But it took, 13 years, 9 years or so of complaining to get it. Now, Laurel admitted in the meeting the other day that she got 12 new trees. She got 12 new trees and planted around her building. Yet there weren't 12 trees to be. And here's some of that debris from the landscaping that was never completed right there. But nobody's going to oversee that. Nobody's going to make sure that they clean that up. Remember this walkway last night, I know it was hard to see. This was all covered in water. It's all watered in here, again, because sprinklers aren't properly maintained. Now this is what the community used to look like, pretty much throughout. When we look this way, we're looking north behind Building F. This is beautiful. This is what we want. We don't have the hedges anymore, but look, this area in here underneath in there, it's very green and bushes. It's very, very nice, and we need to keep it like that, and I hope that they don't do anything there, but you never know. These are the types of trees that we had for years. They're saying they're dying because they're the wrong tree. Well, that tree is extremely healthy, and it's in an area that gets plenty of water. Well, that's not a new tree, so why are those trees surviving? It's because they get water. Here's an issue. This plant right here, it's been here for years, and I brought it up. It's planted under the eave of the house, growing up there, and then if you look at the front of the building, they planted shrubs there that just rubbed away the paint and everything. They do that all over the place. Here's what the old hedge looked like. This used to go around every unit, in the front of every unit. Why can't we get this back? This is what we want. These are the 3 remaining plants from when I moved in 13 years ago. These are about the only 3 left. They tried to put these other shrubs, and they just never grow. They never grow. They look scraggly. They don't create the barrier that this one does. This is what the community wants right here. We want this. This is what we had. It's what we want, and that's what we get. So, there's inconsistencies here. Different kinds of rock. There's different rock. There's different rock here, different rock over here. This tree here is scheduled for removal. It does look sick, but what are we going to replace it with? Because once we take that out, the centerpiece to this whole round area is gone. It's gone. So what do we replace it with? Are they going to replace it? Probably not. And again, you can see their answer is water the base of the tree. Right there. That's how you water that tree. How's that going to water a tree when its canopy is out here? But this is a tree it's not doing well, so we'll probably have to get a new tree. Hopefully they'll put one in. If we come up with money, individuals, we can. We can also see along the back here, see those? they said they planted some more to create consistency. What about right here? There's none right there. These palm trees were planted by an owner. About 2 owners ago, downstairs, planted those palm trees. They look hideous, and they're still there. But they remove anything else someone else plants, but not everything. There's hypocrisy. One thing is okay for some people, but others it's not okay. It's an area, that needs to be fixed. Now, as we turn around here, I'm going to point this out. Got off track here. This is what it used to look. This is looking north, right behind Building A and F at the entryway. As you turn around and look down behind Building A, that's how it used to look here, because there used to be a tree right here, a very large tree, as big as these trees above me right now. And it's gone. It was never replaced. Why not? Now, we do have that tree there, but think of how big that tree would be if it was 9 years older. If they had replaced when they took it out. A good friend of mine who just passed away this week, one of the things that he gave me advice on something once, he said, Jeff, you got to always replace your divot. Well, I give that advice to the homeowners board here. Replace your divots. They don't want to talk about the history, but then they ask the questions, why don't you get upset about things? We've been upset for years. We've been upset for years, and we're done being dictated to, and we're starting to take it in our own hands. Every owner I've talked to so far, except for one, has agreed that this needs to stop, that we need more democracy, we need more oversight. We need to have a say as owners. When we outvote the board needs to listen. Again, this is our fire lane with a boulder in it. I'm checking with the fire marshal on Monday to see if this is legal. And then we also are getting the city plan, the original permit that was given to build this place and what it would look like is being sent to us by the city planner's office. So that's our little tour for this morning. If I notice anything else, I will definitely get it out there and let the world know that what we're being told isn't the truth. There is no slime. I see no liability. I see lack of maintenance. The grass isn't the issue. It's the lack of irrigation maintenance that is the issue. Lack of inconsistent planning and planting has led to mishmash, hodgepodge, potpourri. Potpourri is a good word. Potpourri of vegetation and plants around here. I mean, it's amazing the number of plants that have been removed. And it's changing the community. We had plants along that outside wall out there. I understand there's some irrigation issues, but that's stuff that should be fixed. Why wasn't this being maintained for the last 25 years? Maybe we should ask Tom O'Brien's family. Why didn't he maintain the property? Why did he let it get to such disrepair that we lost the rows of trees that used to line the Kyrene side of our complex? The rows of trees. That's management. And if our current management's not willing to accept that they need to fix these things, then we need to get new management. We need to recall the board. We need to get new people on the board that will be responsive. We need to rewrite the CC&Rs to create a more democratic and responsive association. Because we live here. And as owners, this is our property. And 5 people telling 84 people what to do is not what America's founded on. And it's not what we're about. The usurpation of authority and the abuses of their power needs to be stopped. And the only way to do that is put them on the spotlight for what's actually really happening. Not what they say is happening, but what is really happening. Look at that. Look at that beautiful bird right there. We get these in here because we have these trees and we have this grass. That'll all go away when you turn this into a desert environment and you raise the temperature. This is our community, not 5 people's, working at their own discretion without oversight. Well, the oversight is us, and we're not going to allow it anymore. I'll talk to you later.